just burn time.
Welcome to TechRadar. I am Matt Phillips, joined this evening by Adam Vajestica. How you doing, Adam?
I'm good. Very excited for no PS5 announcements.
Well, that's what they've said. So we're here to react live with you guys in the chat about the state of play. What I need to do is actually just bring up the chat, so bear with me, guys, because you're going to see all sorts of craziness happening now. Just so I can chat to you in the chats. Okay, cool. So I've got that up separate. Again, guys, we're relatively new to this live streaming lark, but if you're in here watching with us, let us know what you think in the comments. PlayStation are going to announce today. They've said no PS5 announcements, or no big PS5 announcements, I think is actually what they said, right?
Well, any announcement when it comes to PS5 is huge. You can show off, like, I don't know, the box, and people would go mental over it.
You're not wrong.
So,
you're not wrong.
What constitutes as a small announcement is going to be interesting.
It will indeed. It will indeed. I think. Look, if we get today, I think they need to end this today by saying we're going to talk about the PS5 in a week or whatever it is. Right? They've got to give us something. Because
that would be nice.
We need price. We need a release date at this point, right? Like that's the next big thing on the docket.
I don't think we need a price. I think this should be the first PlayStation console that comes out, and you just don't know the price. You just turn up at the store, and you just hand over your card, and then you walk away with the console because it's getting ridiculous now.
I'd be okay with
it. Yeah, we need a price. We need a price. We need a release date, and yeah, at the bare minimum at the end of this, they should say join us on August, etc. for the final big PS.
I think you're absolutely right. I'm going to turn down the stream a bit because. Let me know in the chat, guys, if the volume's all okay, if you can hear me and Adam okay. I'm sure you can. We got about 50 people in the Facebook chat. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
So yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, I don't know. They've said they're going to talk a lot about VR and they're going to talk a lot about PlayStation 4 games, but what is even really coming down the pipe for PS4 at this point?
Well, yeah. But what I will say, it is nice that they are continuing to support PSVR. I thought, knowing Sony and their previous track record, I thought they kind of would have left that alone for a while. But no, they've been pretty good with it. And as they kind of revealed with the accessory announcement, like what will work on the PS5 from the PS4, it looks like PSVR will. So that's kind of nice if you have bought one.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they've recently come out as well and said the DualShock 4 won't work with the PS5, right? Kind of going against that philosophy almost.
Yeah, so it works on the PS5 if you're playing a compatible PS4 game, but you can't play PS5 games with the dual, which is strange because if you actually look at the DualSense and the DualShock, they're very, very similar in terms of what they can do. I mean, the only thing I can think off the top of my head that the DualSense does, which the DualShock doesn't, is it has a microphone which you can potentially blow into.
Yeah, I mean
it's haptic instead of rumble, but
the haptic, yeah, exactly. And apparently that's a game changer. But PlayStation always introduced these weird little features, like the touchpad on the DualShock 4, right? Like it's a neat idea, and then launch games you use it for various things, and now it's just a giant map button for every single game that ever comes out, right? Like it's
a great map button.
It's a great map button. But does it need to be that big? Does it need to be that bright? No.
No, exactly. And yeah, you'll definitely need your DualShock, I'm guessing, because as we've seen with the new kind of like 3D render of the DualSense, that light bar is on the front of the controller, and as we've always kind of been told by Sony, you need the light bar on the DualShock 4 to interact with the camera and to work with PSVR. So
shout out
to accessories, I guess.
Shout out to AK in the YouTube chat. Welcome. Let me know, AK. Say my name. I've just done it, AK. I beat you to it, mate. I beat you to it.
Say my name. That sounds like Walter White from Breaking Bad.
I know. He's mad dogging us. He's mad dogging us in there.
So yeah, 4 minutes. 4 minutes to think of what PS4 games we've completely forgotten about.
I would,
Crash Bandicoot?
We could see some Crash for sure. But we've seen a lot of Crash already. We've had previews of Crash, so I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of those things. I think I would really like to see something in here from Kojima. And I think it wouldn't be a new game, right? It would be like just a little hello, I'm here, like I'm loving it. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not going to announce Death Stranding 2.
That would be the best if he just came on and goes, hello, I'm here, I'm loving it. And then it just ends. That's the end of the stream. Yeah, an appearance for Kojima would be pretty big.
I'm just trying to think, like,
But yeah, how that would relate.
if they're not going to do
PS5 announcement.
maybe a little like him leading into like a little hype montage of here are PS4 games that are coming to PS5, right? Like just sort of open those can of worms, right? We know Last of Us Part 2 is probably going to get a remaster. Death Stranding probably going to get some sort of remaster. So
yeah,
I think let him introduce that. People love Kojima. People want to see him.
Oh yeah, he's a hero, and actually very, very small in real life.
You haven't met him? Oh my god, dude! I didn't know you met him.
Yeah,
well, seen him.
Well, I didn't meet him, but we're not on first name terms or anything like that. But he's one of those people where, and I think this happens a lot with celebrities because we're used to seeing like TV makes people look taller, and I don't know. And I walked past him, and I completely doubled. Like my brother got a selfie with him, but I doubled. I had to do a double take because he's for such a genius and a exceptional human being. He's quite small. Which kind of makes him all the more adorable.
Garganite Ritz in the YouTube chat. What a name, mate. What a name.
Is that from what's that film with the was it the Garganites and the toy soldiers? Is that the film?
Is that Garganites? I thought you were on about
Is it Garganites?
Jason and the Argonauts? Jason and the Argonauts. That's what I thought you were talking about for a second. I was like,
maybe it's a blend of the two.
Maybe it is. I'm not getting anybody chatting in the Facebook chat. Adam, can you do me a favor and find us live on Facebook and see if people are chatting in the chat? Because I know you had this issue streaming on Monday.
I don't see it. We got 39, 36
well, there we go.
Obviously, stream's a bit delayed, but no one's saying hello on Facebook. Please say hello.
Please say hello so we know it's all working.
Yeah, we won't bite.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. 1 minute 30.
What do we get? What are we getting, man? I think. Do you think they come out and talk about the Marvel Avengers exclusivity that's kind of kicked off this week?
Oh god. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that probably will be a little highlight. If you've been on TechRadar.com, you'll see that I'm not quite a fan of that exclusivity deal, and I don't like it. But yeah, that could have a little. I think piece of showtime.
It's kind of crazy how much control Sony seems to have over Spider-Man, right? Like just in general. And I think this is just a part of it, right? And I think Spider-Man sells at the end of the day, and Sony know that.
No,
and so by putting him in the game, it makes a difference for some people. There's somebody in the YouTube chat. Their name is in a different alphabet, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. But they say, "I want price." I would lower your expectations. Yeah. We're not going to get none of that today.
You're not going to get it. But what I will say is we have two comments in Facebook. We have Jace and Ed both saying hi. Chit chat. Hello.
Now, so interestingly, behind the curtain here, Adam, for me and you, I can't see any of that on my end. So
yeah, and that happened to me.
Yeah,
bizarre.
We need to figure that out. But for now, if you could have the Facebook up in a window and you monitor Facebook and I'll monitor YouTube, I think that's probably the way we should do it.
That's teamwork. Yeah, maybe some PS Now announcement would be nice.
I would love.
Come to PS Now. Push it a bit more.
I think they need to rebrand PS Now, right? Game Pass is such incredible value. Game Pass is such incredible value. They need to make people realize PS Now is our version of Game Pass, whether they rename it something new or not. They need to make people realize like we're on board with this as well, and give people an excuse to go out and get it.
So we're looking at the
PS4 light bar. Yeah.
PS4 light bar now. Yeah. Kind of wish it stayed blue instead of white, but that's just me.
Maybe this is it. Maybe we just look at this for 40 minutes. What do you think?
Oh, here we go.
Will this show us PS5 UI, maybe? But they've said no big PS5 announcements. Lower expectations. I need to catch myself every now and again. You called it, mate. Bit of Crash to kick us off.
I called it, yeah. This looks lovely.
It does look stunning, doesn't it?
It's about time. Crash 4 is a direct sequel to Crash Bandicoot Warped.
The Insane trilogy, though, just drove me nuts.
Oh yeah, the first game, that level they made on the first one,
conquering this dimension,
the like special bonus level. Oh my god,
and it's
still never
Crash and
completed
Coco
that.
to save the day. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is the first totally new game in the Crash Bandicoot series in over a decade. So for us at Toys for Bob, we felt that it was important to reintroduce longtime fans, as well as new players, to this amazing franchise. First, we made sure to incorporate the classic tense, precise, and perspective-shifting platforming that we all fell in love with. And
like
then
this.
we wanted to introduce
Garganite says, include PS Now with PlayStation Plus, boost its appeal.
Beach. This is where Crash's adventure first started.
Why not? PlayStation
not?
Plus. I know we've had Fall Guys this month, but it has kind of gone downhill a bit.
I think include
Not-
3
it's
months
not
of
the
it.
big draw it was.
Include 3 months of it when you buy a PS5, right? Get people in that way.
Inspiration from not just the original
be-
games,
yeah,
but the
why not?
animated cartoons that
seller.
inspired those original games. All while
I
also
am
delivering
definitely
bigger,
probably
more
going to buy this.
awe-inspiring
Not gonna
dimensions
lie.
to
It looks
explore.
absolutely stunning. Games like this always blow me away, right? That like
Yeah.
they have this art style, this really specific art style they're going for, and they still look stunning. Like this isn't pushing the PlayStation 4 to its limits, I'm sure, but
it's
just beautiful.
Zip line as well.
It's kind of what Nintendo do with their games, isn't it? If you've got to, I mean, that skin is awesome. I don't know if we're on the same.
oh, we might be a
same
couple of
point in the
seconds off each
trailer.
other, yeah.
That seemed like a natural
Oh, you'll
area
see
for
it.
us to expand upon. So we
Yeah, it's kind of like
concluded that
Nintendo
the game with
games.
tons of
You know,
awesome
the art
skins
style
that
makes
you
such a
can earn
massive
and wear
difference
throughout
to
the
how
game. These skins are
how
totally
beautiful you
cosmetic
can make a
and
game. It's
fun
not just
way to
about
express
faux
yourself while
realism at
playing
the end of the
game.
day.
And just to be clear, there's no MTX here. Skins are earned by completing
No
different
microtransactions.
challenges and earning gems within levels.
Yeah, that's
Crash 4
good.
also introduces the
So obviously they
quantum
got,
masks.
Because
I mean, it's different
Yeah.
developer, but they got
Crash
kind
and
of
Coco will
thrown
need
against the
their
wall
assistance
for
throughout the
Crash
game
Team Racing,
to
didn't
tackle the
they? Introducing
crazy
a little
challenges
microtransaction.
Yeah,
that
and
can be
it
thrown
was
at
the
the
fact
player.
they added it in
Whether
a
it's
couple
Ika
months
Ika
later
giving
as
you
well,
the
so
ability
just
to
snuck it
instantly
in
flip
there.
your
It's like
center
you
of
can't do
gravity at
that.
the press of a button. Kapunawa, who allows you to slow down the world around you.
See, I love platformers
Or
which give you
Lani Lowy, who
costumes
allows
which
you to
then
phase shift elements in
you
and out
need
of
to
existence,
wear to
bending the
navigate
rules of
certain
reality
areas.
and
Like
altering
Mario
the
does that a
environment
lot.
with these new masks is a
Works really
must.
well.
We
Yeah.
also can't wait to talk to you about the fourth mask.
Ah, okay.
But that's gonna have to wait for another day. What we can tell you today, though, is that Crash isn't the only character you get to take control of during this adventure. For starters,
Good news for
you can play
Coco
the
fans.
entire game as Coco. Any level that you can play as Crash, you can also play as Coco. It was also very important for us that she take a more prominent role
No
in the
way.
story this time as well. But that's not all.
Excellent.
We've got a few other characters.
You know what
that
I
you'll
want,
get to
Adam?
control at key points
I
in the
want
adventure
Crash
so
Bash.
that they can provide
Give
their
me
own
another
fresh
Crash Bash. Remember
perspectives.
Crash Bash.
Here you can see
I wouldn't
that
rule
you
it
can take
out.
control of
I
the
mean,
Vortex.
that's the thing that I love
He's all
about
about
video
using his
games. Some
blaster to
franchises, obviously, they get
change an enemy in this
they have their
match.
time in the
addition to
sun,
playing as
and then they
Cortex,
get
we're excited
forgotten
to reveal
about.
that for the
No one's
first
interested
time,
anymore.
you'll also
And then,
get to
you know,
tail slap your
5,
way
10
through
years
Grace's
later,
Dingo
suddenly
Dive.
people are like, "Where's
I repeat,
Crash?" And then they're
Let's
back,
play as Dingo
and
Dive
they're better than
in Crash
ever.
4.
And then we
Yeah.
all say,
has
"Why did we
changed in
stop
the
playing
years
Crash
since we last
Bandicoot
saw
games?"
Dingo Dive.
Garganites
In
is
fact,
saying,
he hung up
is
his
this
old
just
flamethrower
Sackboy
rocket
on
launcher
ecstasy?
combo when he decided to retire
Basically.
from a life of villainy and open a diner.
It does look better than
Unfortunately for Dingo,
Sackboy. What's
fortunately
that?
for us,
Sackboy Adventure,
his
is it?
Yeah,
Is
forgot
Little
about that.
Adventures?
Forgot about that.
That looked very,
and getting sucked into another
yeah.
dimension.
very stock.
Finally,
Guys, let
there's
us
one
know in
more
the chat as
surprise
well if you
I'm
can hear the stream well
incredibly
enough,
excited
hear
to
us,
show you
if
today.
the levels are good.
The Crash Bandicoot series has always been about finding new and exciting ways to play through the game. In the past, it's been about taking on time trials or discovering all the hidden secrets. Well, for Crash 4, we wanted to bring something brand new to the table. So we teamed up with our friends at Beanox to create a brand
This is
new
cool.
style of
They've
Crash
put
4
they've gone so
Yeah.
above and beyond in
inverted
this.
mode. It's our souped up,
Very cool.
They really
very
have.
fueled take on a mirror mode. Not only are
I
perspective
like
shifted,
that.
but now each of the dimensions
Super
are rendered in
Mario
a new
Sunshine.
unique art style that really changes the look and feel of the experience. One dimension could be asking you to traverse through a neon wasteland, while another tasks players with spinning paint
When's this
all
out?
over the environment to see
I don't
the
even
path
know.
forward.
Soon, I think
We've even
very
got one that
soon.
feels like an old-timey movie with the overcranked camera speed increasing the actual speed of
I wonder if
gameplay.
this one will
so
be
cool.
full price because
Once unlocked, players can replay all
Spyro,
the game's levels with a totally
Crash Team
new
Racing,
and
and
dynamic look and feel. It's an
and
incredibly
Sane
fun
Trilogy
feature
were
that's going to
slightly
give
discounted,
every
weren't
player,
they?
Yeah,
especially
I'm
the
imagining this has
completionists
got to
out
be
there,
full price
a
because this
reason to
is.
revisit
I mean, they're
each
pitching
level
this like
again.
it's Crash
So
4,
just like
right?
New
Like it's.
exciting experiences in store.
Oh, you
Yeah,
are a
that's
little
true.
bit ahead of me then, but that's all right.
So that's some of the new
Yeah,
stuff that we have in store for
I'll
you.
keep my
in Crash
reactions
Bandicoot 4
delayed.
It's about time. Experience the
Unless
space
there's a
and time
PS5
bending
price, and I'll be
madness on
screwed up.
October 2nd.
Ooh, new PS5 gameplay. Sorry.
Oh,
I've just
what?
ruined the
You need to
surprise.
pause yours for a second so we can catch up to you.
Today's state of play is loaded
Okay.
with third-party updates.
I'll tell you when to
for
play.
PS4 and PSVR, and some new PS5 gameplay too.
Have you heard us say PS5
Yes,
gameplay?
I've just hit it. Just hit it. So if
We
you
open
go,
the show with an all-new look at Crash 4.
gonna go
It's
now.
about time, coming to PlayStation 4 on October 2nd.
Ooh.
Now let's keep the party going with the latest from IO
This is good.
Interactive.
Is
Bit
this
of
the
Hitman.
strongest state
Bit
of
of
play
Hitman.
there's ever been? Ed says everything sounds good. on
fantastic
Facebook.
stuff.
Thanks, Ed. That's very, very useful. still haven't played these new Hitman. I've got them.
No way.
Hitman.
The
Yeah, I've got them downloaded. The Hitman games. But ooh, okay. Again, support for
Besides, this is your big day.
This is cool.
certain peripheral.
This gets me in.
Yeah,
Oh, don't worry about that. My aunt.
because you've just got a PSVR, haven't you?
I
Matt?
have,
So
and I'm loving it.
this is suddenly all appealing
Now,
to you now.
yeah, it's really interesting actually that it looks like this is, unless this is a cutscene, right? But it looks like you're going to be able to walk around in PSVR, and so far in the games that I've played in PSVR, they've been very against you kind of having this level of motion, right? It's a lot of teleporting. It's a lot of. Maybe this is a cutscene. I don't know.
Oh, okay. You finally get to live your dream and garrot someone in VR.
That
You always
gets
got to
me.
learn about that to me.
That gets me way more excited for that. Yeah, interesting.
No, that's a really cool
Does that
feature,
mean
yeah.
does that mean you can also play it in first person? I don't know that it does. Like to me, that means you can play it in PSVR or you can play it. Yeah, Garganite's Ritz
Or maybe
doesn't have
so-
PSVR. A lot of people don't,
Nah,
mate. A lot of
neither
people
do I.
don't.
No, I don't. This. What is this?
Don't know. Is this some sort of crazy peripheral? Do we think? Is this a game or is this some?
I think it's a game, surely.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm getting crazy.
They're not going to announce a new peripheral now, are they? Right now. at the
It
end of
wouldn't
the
surprise
cycle,
me.
surely not.
A new move controller
Is
or
that-
something? I don't know.
Is that an Uncharted style ring? Maybe.
I think that's asking a lot.
I don't know. Seems
Prince of
Uncharted.
Persia? Prince of Persia? Come on. Come on.
Is it? Sands of Time remake or something? It's gonna be none of these. Now it's gone completely different to what's going on there.
No.
Oh, is that oh my god, it's oh, I can't even think of the name. What's that called? Braid? Was it Braid? No.
Yeah, Braid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Braid. No way.
What is this, a sequel? I don't think I ever played Braid, I'll be honest with you.
Anniversary on it. Man, it's hard. It's a really one of the big Xbox 360 arcade games. Ooh, it's
Yeah,
been,
I remember it being a big deal.
Uprest.
We are happy to announce Braid Anniversary Edition. It's the classic puzzle adventure where you manipulate time
Well, that's kinda
and
nice.
repainted for modern, high resolutions.
Many areas have been re-envisioned to make them more unique, and it's even more like a living painting with brushstrokes animating the world. There are more than
I
9
didn't realize
pixels
it
for
was
each pixel in
bad.
the original game. There are new animations for smoother motion.
Improved sound and music to enhance the mood, and
I don't
many
know how I
hours
feel
of
about this.
developer commentary and interviews on subjects
I
like
suppose
puzzle
it looks
design,
better, but again,
programming,
it's going back
and
to that
visual
conversation
art.
of you had an
We plan
art
to make it
style,
the most detailed commentary
Yeah.
and I'm not sure
in-game ever.
upraising
So if
the
you
art
wanna learn how
style.
video games are made, Braid
I would
Anniversary
have
Edition
never
will be a
known
really good resource.
that
We
this
hope
has
you'll
been
enjoy the
uprest
game
until they
when it
just
comes
side by
out
side,
early
because this
next
is how it
year.
looked in my brain when I played
Sure,
it anyway.
sure.
But yeah, I guess if you put them side by side, then fine. That's ooh.
Yeah, well.
No.
PS5.
Atlas is a mythic adventure
Do we know
set
about
on a
this game?
mystical island.
Nope, not that
Let's
I know
take
of.
a quick tour in this new footage captured from PS5.
But remember, Adam, they're obviously not putting a lot of faith
everyone.
in this
This
game
is Matt
because
Nava from
this is
Giant
not a
Squid.
big PS5
I'm excited
announcement.
to share more with you today about our
No,
upcoming
yeah, that's oh yeah, ouch.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah, that's brutal.
The Pathless is an open-world, mythic adventure game set in a vast
Okay.
forest. You play as the Hunter.
The
Kind
Hunter.
of
The Hunter is
genie-esque
a
looking
master of archery.
characters.
She can shoot
Yeah.
talismans to fill her dash meter, which allows her to bound across the landscape.
Okay. Wow, she's
That's cool.
Fluid, dynamic
Yeah,
movement
that's cool.
is at the core of the Pathless. So the game's
slide
unique take
around
on
and-
archery is all about timing, not aiming down sights. This design was critical to making it possible to shoot even while moving fast and performing acrobatic maneuvers.
This looks
You
cool.
instantly feel as skilled as the hunter herself.
Why? what like apart from an open world, what is the game, I guess?
yeah, it's what is it, like a rhythm game or something? This is I don't get
With
it.
help from
What
the
would you do?
eagle,
Just
you can even fly.
these obviously give you speed boosts.
Bond between
Yeah.
the hunter and the eagle is central in the Pathless. You can gain altitude while you glide by flapping.
You can ride an eagle. That's cool, I guess.
It's cool. It's all cool, and it looks great, and it. But is there a story?
Yeah, I have
what
no
are we doing?
idea what this. Yeah.
It's not like.
Make me
sure
sound
you
a bit
pet the eagle
old and
to keep it clean and in good
out of
condition.
touch, but I've never what? You keep your eagle clean, but why?
What is this game?
This game
secrets all
this
over
game's
the
so
island.
far about
If you know where to look.
shooting arrows at speed and cleaning eagles.
Look,
What are you looking for? The world is nice.
Collecting
Though.
crystals will let you upgrade the eagle's ability to flap.
upgrade the eagle's ability to flap.
Yes.
You'll also discover larger puzzles to solve in
Go on,
ancient
eagle.
structures.
If this had been a 1 minute long trailer of them kind of gliding through the landscape there and riding an eagle and shooting stuff, I think I would have been more in than I am. It's a puzzle game then, I guess.
Yeah, it must. Yeah, like a.
Pathless is all about finding your own way
Yeah,
forward.
definitely, it's a puzzle
So
game.
unlike
It's gotta
most
be.
open world games, there's no map. Instead,
But you
the hunter can
find
use your
your own
mask
way
to
forward.
peer into the spirit world and
No
discover
map.
distant landmarks. It even shows you where you've been. Getting to higher vantage points will let you see further with spirit vision.
Maybe I feel like I'm being harsh on this game, right? Because it.
Not really. You haven't
Giant
really
cursed
said
spirits,
anything
the
negative.
source of the darkness,
You've made a very
pose a
valid
constant
point. Like,
threat to you
what?
on your quest.
What
They will
is
try to
this game?
separate you from the eagle.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
There are nasty things trying to separate you from your eagle.
Okay. Protect the eagle at all costs. Was this like a? Okay. Guess you shoot an arrow in that thing's face. It's got a nice big target.
Yeah, I was gonna say, got a weak
If
point.
Zelda's taught me anything.
Stay still in the light to avoid detection.
Yeah, that's a nice weak point. I can see this looking very pretty if it supports HDR, and it looks like it's 60 as well, so it should be nice and
You won't be
smooth.
able to take
It's
on
interesting,
cursed
right? Like,
spirits
this
until
is
you've returned light to the
A
obelisk.
PS5 game, and I get why they didn't show it off at the PS5 conference, because it's not gonna
Yeah.
wow anybody, right? With its graphics or gameplay, it's not doing anything.
I
that
think
it
that's
can
going
do
to be
on
a case
PS4.
for a lot of games. I think
When the obelisks are
the
restored,
leap is
the
big in
cursed
terms of
spirits
it's
will
going to be a
vulnerable.
smoother and more
Chase them
enjoyable
down through
experience
the forest
overall.
to corner them in a dramatic
But I
final
don't
battle.
think we're going to see a huge leap, and like with every gen.
Okay,
until,
this
like,
is
2
cool.
3 years in.
Like
Yeah, this is
Monster
nice.
Hunter
I like
vibes, chasing. Okay, I get it.
Still, this whole timing of the
Yeah.
arrow thing, I'm not loving, but I guess maybe it's pretty satisfying to do. Yeah, now I just want to play Monster Hunter. That's why.
I get that. I get that.
Ooh, careful.
This is very. I don't know. I don't know what I think of
It's
it.
got better.
The hunter and
Yeah.
eagle will have to defeat the cursed spirits to bring light back to the world.
Almost like Shadow of Colossus vibes.
Yeah, that's a good
I hope you've
comparison.
Be
enjoyed this
interesting
overview
if,
of the Pathless.
If it is
We've
just
only
big
scratched the
bosses like that,
surface.
I don't know.
There's so much more to explore and discover. The Pathless is coming out later this year. Thanks for watching.
Well, we won't have long to wait, Adam. Coming out later this year.
No, this year.
But I get it. They didn't say PS5 and PS4, and this was kind of pitched as a PS5 game there at the start, so maybe it's not coming to PS4.
Yeah.
Just PS5 there at the splash screen at the end, so...
Oh yeah. All right, you're slightly ahead of me now. Great.
Oh, really?
Let's
Sorry.
see what's in store for Spelunky.
I'll pause for 1 second, see if you can catch up. Spelunky 2?
My name is Derek.
Oh, that's a
I'm
great
creator of
announcement.
Spelunky.
That's going to go down very well. Haven't we actually already heard about?
I think we have.
Maybe
I think it's not
Yeah,
not a brand new
I thought we
announcement, but
and also brought in new players. It was important we didn't change the things that made Spelunky such a unique experience in the first place.
Spelunky, that's a fun word to say.
I never played the first one. So
I played a little of it. I never really got
one reason why
into
we're
it.
adding online multiplayer.
But I know
so that
loads
more
of people
Yeah.
love
play the game
Spelunky.
together.
yeah, it's definitely got
And
a bit of a
also
cult
my
following.
lord.
that
Nice.
feeling of community into Spelunky 2 itself to make sure that the game felt welcoming even though it's difficult. In Spelunky 2, when you do runs and discover new characters, you'll also be building an in-game community and family.
Cute.
I designed the
That
world
is
of
cute.
Spelunky 2 to feel
Oh,
much
that's
more
awesome.
rich and
That little
dynamic
sloth
than
guy.
Spelunky 1. It's going to feel a lot more full.
I feel like this guy
Players will be
really
able to
pronounces
explore
the
and
spot
interact
in
with
Spelunky.
lots of new ways.
Like Spelunky.
For example, you'll be able to ride turkeys
That's how I'm going to say it from now on.
and find hidden
Oh my god,
passageways,
turkey riding.
and you'll have to choose
She
between
looks like
branching
Princess
paths
Jasmine
as you
from
make
Aladdin.
your way deeper into the caves.
Is
As a
Spelunky a
result,
game that
the
we need to
stories
play?
players create will have much
Do we need
more
to go back and
texture
play
to them.
Spelunky 1?
Even after many, many hours of
I
playing,
don't
still
think
have
so. What,
interesting
you mean
runs that
to
don't
follow
even
the
go
game's
back.
story?
No,
or
no, no,
just
no,
as
no.
like-
I just meant from like
Spelunky
a
1 runs
gamer's
often
point of view.
centered around the
Is it
shops and how you
required
chose to
playing?
interact
Yeah.
with them. So in
I don't know.
Spelunky 2,
I
we've
think I played it
expanded
on
the
the
shopping
Vita.
experience
It
and
might have
made
been a
it more
PS Plus
nuanced
game
and
ages
exciting.
ago.
And also added new
What
characters
is
that
this?
can help
Roll
you
the dice
or
to
hinder
shop.
you.
That's all.
Given how amazing the Spelunky community is, it's hard to say how long it will take to find the
Yeah,
deepest
it
secrets.
it emphasizes the spur for
But
sure.
I think the great thing about Spelunky is that the deepest secrets are the ones that even I don't know about.
Spelunky. Great.
And there are lots of new things to play
Oh
with
dear.
that I hope players can use to push past the boundaries of what we, as the developers,
There's a
know
pug
about
gun.
the game.
There's
I
a
have
gun
two
that shoots
types of
pugs.
favorite stories from
Yep,
Spelunky
you got me.
fans.
You got me.
First are when people are genuinely
I've always wanted
surprised
a
by
pug
something
gun as
that
well.
happened in the game. And second, the ones where people shared a fun
It
experience
looks like
with friends and
madness.
family
Anytime there's like
multiplayer.
combat going on, just looks absolutely
These are the
insane.
things I wanted to expand upon in
Tried to
Spelunky 2.
shotgun you and then you just shotgun him
They're
back.
really what guided my design
Oh,
choices.
ninja. Nice.
After releasing Spelunky, I knew there was a lot more that could be done with the concept and the world. Knowing that possibility was out there is what's been exciting for me and the rest of the
This looks
team.
wild. I'm in.
In a lot of ways, when Spelunky
Yeah.
2 comes out, I want
This
players
would be
to
a great-
experience what we
I know they don't have
experienced
it, but this would be a great Game Pass game.
That feeling that there's something special there
mhm.
waiting for you to discover it. A big thanks to the fans who've waited patiently for us to finish Spelunky 2. It's been
Yeah, I
a
think
long
you're right
journey,
because
but
some people
I
would
think
look
it's
at this
gonna
and
be worth
go,
it.
absolutely not.
Oh yeah.
And I have friends like that, right? Who are they're excited about Halo,
Oh,
they're
me
excited
too.
about the next Call of
Yeah.
Duty, but they're not gonna go
It's-
and get something like this unless it's included, right? Unless it's
Yeah.
on their Netflix style subscription and they just go pick it up.
Absolutely, I'm playing a game like that now called The Tourist, which is just
Hmm.
a Game Pass, and it's awesome. And I would have never, I wouldn't have gone and
We've got a
spent
bunch of
£20
new
on it.
PS4
I just wouldn't
updates
have
to
done.
share with you, starting with a closer look at Genshin
Genshin
Impact.
Impact.
Is this going to be one of those game demos that goes on for a long old
Far
time?
too long, yeah. Let's explain everything about Genshin Impact.
That's what I get the feeling for.
Well, that looks like Breath of the Wild to me, right there. But
I always get like Dynasty Warrior vibes, right? Like they always did that with Dynasty
Yeah.
Warrior games. Like, let's explain every mechanic we've put into this game.
yeah, let us take you through the entire discography of Dynasty Warriors, which
Yeah.
goes on for 30 years plus. This looks good.
This does
looks
look
a bit like
good.
Breath of the Wild.
Even
Little
the climbing up
areas.
the cliffside there, yeah.
Yeah. Running, you can do that.
Every game that's got running stole it from Breath of the Wild.
They all stole it, yeah, exactly. Nintendo did it first.
It's bizarre though, isn't it? Because to me,
This is a gorgeous game.
it's
It looks
beautiful,
really
right?
nice.
But the characters don't necessarily look like they belong in this world.
Yeah, I see that.
Like they almost feel like two different art styles. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Still, we're seeing a lot of very nicely put together gameplay, I'll give them that. But I feel like this is one of those games which is going to have the most busy heads-up display you've ever seen as well.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact.
Oh well,
It's
they
on.
didn't give us too much, that's for sure. Maybe not enough.
Yeah. No, that was a surprise. I like the look of that.
Gods have squealed for my mercies. Who are you to stand in the way of my vengeance?
Hardcore game development. Okay.
This looks... The art style on this is amazing. I love
This
it.
is trippy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it like Streets of Rage, or is it just a standard beat 'em up? I can't really tell
I think it's
right now.
turn-based, right?
Oh, is it turn-based? Wow,
It looks like you got...
okay, cool.
Maybe not. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
fighting game. What is it?
Is it a fighting game? I feel like it's a fighting game with really elaborate backgrounds. This is cool.
The music is sick as well.
Yeah, the music. This is the kind of stuff I would definitely put on a Spotify playlist. What is... What?
I don't know,
We've
but
seen
I
three
mean...
games in quick succession where we're not quite sure
It's like, what?
how they work. Aeon Must Die. That looks really good.
2021 PS4.
Wow, okay.
You got to
Makes sense.
assume...
PS4
You got
is going to get a lot of games still. I mean,
Sure, but you got to assume
developers
that's
aren't
coming to
gonna
PS5 as
say no to
well.
that. And then, well, it technically should play on PS5, right? It should be compatible from backwards compatibility. This looks good as well. Really weird, like pixel art, but not.
I'll be honest, this is exactly what I expected from this state of play. Just weird, weird games they had nowhere else to show.
I'm gonna come out and say this is probably the best state of play I've watched, because most of them I've seen have been pretty.
How can you say
just
that?
Non-events.
How can you say that?
It's true.
The PS5 one we got last month was brilliant.
Well, that wasn't a state of play, though, was it?
Yeah,
that was a
that- I
PS5
mean-
games reveal
Well,
event.
I think they're all. I think they're all state of play
I mean,
branded, aren't
Badonic.
they? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. This looks good. Again, couldn't tell you.
What are we doing? What is the?
That's clearly been the. The main message is like we want this state of play to be full of really good-looking and interesting games, but we want players to ask.
See,
what
that's
do I do?
bizarre, right? Why would you put PS4 and PS4 Pro on the splash screen?
Gameplay footage captured from PS5.
Oh, look who it is!
Here we go. Here we go.
Here comes the theme song again.
Again, no big announcements. Harsh.
But yeah, Booksnap was like, oh my god, it's like a big deal. Clumby that.
Elizabeth Megafig is a 2-bit con artist. Don't tell me you actually believe
I'm all in on this.
half-baked nonsense. I swear, if you chase this Bugsnax story, you're out of a job.
Everybody in the YouTube chat just as confused as me and you, Adam. It's good to see we're not alone.
There's a bug snack right over there. Do me a favor and take my snack trap.
Oh, so this is actual gameplay. It's an FPS.
I did not expect it to be first person.
Wow, it's an FPS. That's blown my mind. It just shows you what a
Pokemon Snap vibes. Get
gameplay-
Pokemon Snap vibes.
Yeah, yeah, Pokemon Snap.
Are we gonna get a thing at the end of this that says PSVR? Do you think?
Traps that I could put to use.
Yeah. I mean, visually, it doesn't. It's not like it. It reminds me of that Oddworld game. Was it Stranger's Wrath or was it Munch's Odyssey? Looks a bit like that.
So this is like, it's like a Harvest Moon meets Monster Hunter, like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, meets Slime Rancher meets. I did not think it was FPS. That's.
That's sold me. I'm in. You know, like the song
Yeah,
was
you
good.
in for that?
The song was good before, but that seems like it's got a bit of substance. I'm in.
Let's start
I'm
with
in.
an update on an eagerly awaited PlayStation VR.
Ooh. Vader Immortal. That's like an intense title for a game.
See, this is what they need to lean into. Like, PSV, the Iron Man VR is brilliant, right? Because it makes you feel like Iron Man. That's all people want to do in VR is feel like a superhero, feel like a Jedi. Like, that's all you got to give me.
Have you played that Batman one? That's supposed to be good in VR as well.
Haven't played Batman. No.
Yeah, that's supposed to be good. Yeah, no game has really captured that whole I have a lightsaber, I'm a Jedi, so this could be the one.
Again, interestingly, didn't see any motion in that whatsoever, right? The character was not walking around. Very on rails.
Yeah.
Very...
Yeah.
AK in YouTube, you got to tell us which game you're talking about, mate. He said it looks crappy, can't lie, but
Stay in the light.
He could be talking about anything.
I think he's talking about bug snacks. I don't want to put words in his mouth. 505 games. Oh, Remedy.
Control,
is this,
yeah.
update to Control? Yeah, there it is.
They've
still
already
haven't really got into that.
They already announced DLC for this coming?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
It may have already come out. Now that I've said that out loud.
I've heard this game doesn't run very well on consoles.
Again, one of those games that I missed out on last year, I think. For some reason, just didn't...
Expansion 2. Was that Alan Wake on the top of that? It looked like it.
Yes. Yeah, they've confirmed that they're in the same universe, and
okay.
There's some crossover there.
I love Alan Wake. What is this? Oh, that took a turn.
You gotta love those cinematic trailers that end up being card games. Or,
pull you in, and then suddenly it's like, actually, it's just a board with it's chess. Is essentially what we're playing here. A very complicated version of. I couldn't.
I'm sure there is somebody somewhere losing their mind, excited over this.
Yeah.
And
if you put a gun to my head and said, explain one element of this game, I'd be like, I'm dead. Like, what is going on? And
they were, again, it was one of those things like you were saying, the UI for that was insane. Auto chess. That's what it's called.
I knew it was chess. Oh my god, I survived then because I said chess.
You did. This is cute.
Yeah. This is going to be a puzzler, right? Surely. Oh, cool. Oh.
I was, again, because they've said they're going to have a lot of VR announcements in here, every game I'm looking at now, I'm like, ooh, VR. Because this would kind of make sense, right? If there's like a Moss-type puzzler that you could look around. I don't know.
Mario in the Facebook chat says, this looks awesome. Which game, Mario? We've seen a lot of cool and confusing looking games, but nothing bad so far. I haven't seen anything really that I've been like, not for me. I mean, this looks great. Is that a Game Boy? Nintendo's going to be furious if that looked a bit like a Game Boy for me.
They'll remodel it to look like a Vita, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, there's a Chill Shock.
Mm-hmm. I like the look of that.
2021.
Again, if they were like, hey, that's on PS Now.
Now let's take a look
Day
at
one.
two
Do you know
new
what I mean?
games headed to PS5.
Absolutely.
This is huge. 2 new games coming to PS5.
Forest shadows.
Whoa, out of nowhere.
Ghosts.
But they're not big PS5 games.
Clearly not big announcements.
Corrupt state.
Sumo? Fair enough.
They count, ration, manipulate.
The chess game. Auto chess, Mario likes the look of.
Yes, Mario.
We knew there'd be someone who likes auto chess.
Authority and steel will not stop us.
Yeah, Witcher vibes.
We aren't an invading army.
Assassin's Creed vibes, yeah.
We bypass defenses and strike the heart.
Now he's going to switch to a chessboard again.
It's going to be a card game. It's Gwent.
Yeah, yeah, card game. That's a good shout. Gwen is really good though as well.
Again, this is the sort of game you want to show off at this event, right? Because this isn't mind-blowing PS5. This is why you need to buy a PS5, but we just want to let you know we're making stuff. Stuff's coming.
Yeah, exactly. That guy looks like Kratos a little bit with that makeup on.
Yeah, I thought that.
Interesting.
Oh, it's a third-person shooter that kind of looked like that?
Yeah, was that a snippet of?
It seemed like it,
Very
right?
hard to tell.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Oh,
there we go.
Robin Hood. Oh, here it is, yeah. Hey.
Legends.
2021.
I'm in.
Footage was captured from PlayStation 5. That looked okay. Nothing, like you said, nothing mind-blowing, but cool. Temtem, no way. This has potential to be very popular.
So what is this? You already know about this game?
Yeah, I think I can't remember when they announced it, but it's kind of like Pokemon.
I mean, it
I
looks
think it's
exactly
been on PC
like
for a
Pokemon.
while.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like a I don't know. I don't want to diss Pokemon, but people are saying it's more like not an adult Pokemon. That sounds stupid, but like a Pokemon game which fixes a lot of Pokemon's annoying problems.
I mean, yeah, I love Sword and Shield, but I never felt challenged in Sword and Shield.
Yeah,
right.
And it's like an MMO as well, I think. So you can kind of do the whole
There you
thing
go, online
together, it
open
looks
world.
like.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, this has big potential. Ed says Hood will be on his wish list. It did look good. It did look good.
Yeah, me too.
Before we
Plus,
wrap up,
you'd think the
let's
story
take
for
a
that's
tour
going to be
of Godfall.
decent.
We've got new
Big Robin Hood, you
PS5
can't really go
gameplay
wrong.
for this melee-focused
This is
action
good.
Godfall,
This is
that-
exciting.
this holiday.
Yeah, so Godfall, if I'm right, was like the first PS5 game to
think
even
so.
be like announced, right? Wasn't it?
I think so. But to be honest with you, I haven't heard a massive amount of excitement around it, right? Like,
no.
Nobody's like, can't wait to pick up my
name is
PS5
Keith
and play
and I am
Godfall.
the game director for Godfall. On behalf of Counterplay Games,
A huge
we are
Daddy
very
Longlegs is
excited
just
to share
flown
gameplay
into the
with
room.
you today and to
It's
offer you a
absolutely
glimpse
massive.
into the mystical world of Godfall. Today you'll
Terrified
be seeing
of it.
extensive gameplay captured on a PlayStation
I've got my windows
5
open because it's so hot, but
Please keep in mind
now
that
I've been
the game
invaded.
is still a work in progress, and some things may change from the final product as we continue to learn and harness the power of Sony's next generation.
I almost
Please
hate to
enjoy.
say it, right? But
So let's
Godfall
jump right into
could
what
be
Godfall is.
the Rise Son of
Godfall
Rome
is a looter slasher
of PlayStation
that features
5.
Intense action, satisfying moment-to-moment
Did you
Couldn't it?
play Rise?
and
I did.
robust loot progression
Did you like
systems.
Rise?
You can
No.
enjoy the game at your own
Did
pace,
you?
See, I
playing
did,
alone
and
Okay.
I don't know why,
or through
because
online co-op
as
with
like
up to
a,
2
you
additional
know,
teammates.
it's got all the tropes
Godfall
of
is set
bad
in a
games,
brand
like,
new,
you know, the
high
combat was
fantasy
super simple.
universe
Graphically, it
filled
was
with
amazing,
heroic
and I thought the
knights,
story was
arcane
alright.
And I think that's
magic,
what
forbidden realms.
Godfall
Yeah.
could do,
The
right?
world
Like
is
they've said,
split up
here's the
into the
PS5.
elemental
We
realms
want your
of
game
earth,
to be a big PS5 game.
water,
Push the
Yeah.
PS5 to
air,
the limits, make it look
and
really
fire.
stunning, make it look really interesting.
Godfall is a complete package. All loot and gear
Does it have the
in the game
depth? Does it have the story?
are
Does it have
acquired or
everything else to make it a
unlocked through gameplay.
good game?
There are no
I don't know.
microtransactions.
I hope so.
No waiting for content.
I want to
It's
say,
all in
oh
the
no,
game on day
microtransactions.
one.
I want to
As
say
you
this looks
adventure, you'll
a
get to
lot
tear
more
through
polished than
enemies
when
to
it did when
challenge
it
a
was
mad
first
god
revealed.
who awaits you
Maybe
at
that's
the
just
top.
me, but I think it looks better.
You play a Valorian knight, a godlike
I
warrior.
just don't
able to
know
equip valor
what do
blades,
people want from
legendary
Godfall.
armor
Are
sets
people
that
expecting
transform you into an unstoppable
Dark
master
Souls,
of melee
like a Dark
combat.
Souls game? It's not going to be that difficult, right?
Yeah.
It looks kind of button
Like
mashy. It
ancient
looks kind of
valor lost in time,
like there's not
each
a
with their
massive
own
amount of strategy.
characteristics and long history.
I don't know.
Now let's talk
So you
about
change
gameplay
between-
in Godfall.
Okay.
First, our team wanted to do something different. We wanted to combine action RPG loot progression with third-person melee combat to create what we think is a looter slasher. Our game
There
is
you go.
therefore one part
So it's
gear
Dark
driven
Souls
and
Destiny.
one part player
Yeah.
skill driven. In other words, Not only do we
But-
want you to find exquisite weapons with powerful loot traits, but we also want you to have that feeling of accomplishment.
This sounds
in
stupid.
mastering the wide set of
I want to
combat
see this
mechanics
person play this
available
game
to you
worse.
in Godfall.
Because it doesn't look like this
From a
person's being
combat
challenged at
philosophy
all.
perspective, the melee combat
Yeah, that's a
in
good point.
Godfall is
These
intended
enemies
to
don't
be
look
fluid,
threatening.
dynamic,
None of
and
this
interactive,
looks
embracing offense,
engaging
defense.
or fun.
More often than not,
I
you'll
think
be
I don't like
facing
the fact
multiple
that
enemies
one
at the
sword
same
swing
time.
like
As
seems
a
to
result,
reach
you should
5
always be
enemies.
moving and closing
Maybe
the
that.
gap on enemies.
Okay.
Also, you dominate. the
Mario
combat
says
space,
Temtem
not
looked
the
like
enemies,
Pokemon mixed
and
with
the game
Chrono
rewards
Cross.
you for being aggressive.
Chrono Cross is a
Now that
game
you're
I haven't thought
familiar
about
with
for a
the
while.
combat philosophy,
Yeah.
let's dig into the weapons
Yeah,
themselves.
I'm hyped for Temtem.
In Godfall, there are
We're-
5 weapon classes.
We'll focus on
The
Godfall, not
longsword,
Temtem. the
dual
armor
blades,
sets are nice. But...
It
Different
looks
colors,
stunning. I think
right.
you know, obviously we're watching the stream here,
two-handed war.
so
Yeah,
it's
the
not
stream's not gonna
perfect
be
quality,
great.
but
two-handed greatsword.
I think it could look great, right?
Each weapon class.
I
has
just
their
don't
own
know if it
defense
looks
set,
I know what you mean. There's just
engaging.
something.
from fast combos to more
There's just something
strategic,
not.
deliberate play.
I don't know.
As you defeat enemies in your adventures,
I'm not
you
really
will
invested in
acquire
this
numerous
character. It's just a
weapons
guy in
for
armor.
each weapon category. Each weapon
Yeah, and that's
has their
totally
own
something I struggle
primary
with
and
Destiny.
secondary
It's just
traits.
like none of the characters in Destiny
Yeah.
are
We
at
will
all
delve
interesting
into
to
the
me.
weapon
Maybe apart from
classes
Cade,
and how to
and then
modify them
spoilers
Yeah,
for
he's
Destiny
the
2.
only
He's
decent
gone.
one.
So like,
dual blades
Yeah.
and longsword weapon classes.
So this is a
Dual
nerdy
blades are
comment,
the
but I've
fastest
been
weapon
staring at his
class in
cape for a
Godfall,
while, and so
embodying
far I don't
speed,
think it's clipping
fluidity,
through any
and
other of his
mobility.
Good-looking
assets,
cape.
which is
Dual blades are
really nice.
exceptional
Good-looking
against
I
cape.
hate it when you
small
have a
number
cape
targets
and then
or
you like
single
holster your
targets.
weapon and it just pokes through.
You can perform a combo
The
by
asset, and it's like,
executing
that looks
4
stupid now.
consecutive light attacks. The dual blades heavy attack is a spinning blade cyclone. The blade cyclone
So,
can also be
I
used
loved
as a
God of War,
finisher
right? I thought
at
the
the
combat
end
in
of your
God of
light
War
attack
was
combo.
flawless.
So what
As
are
far
the
as I'm concerned, that's the most fun
signature
I've had
moves for dual
playing a
blades?
game in a very long
As you
time.
build up charge,
Yeah,
you can
I
also
agree.
And I'm
activate
thinking
inner
now,
focus, which
was
is
I
unique to the
impressed
dual
by the
blades, which
combat
inflicts
when I
massive
was
damage
watching
in a
E3
short
trailers
period
for
of
it?
time.
Probably not.
There's also Mortal Coil, where
So
you
maybe-
throw your
maybe I'm being
blade
too harsh on
into
this,
an
right?
enemy, pulling the enemy towards you, like
Maybe-
pulling the cable.
This is getting better and better the more I
Now
watch.
let's
I think
switch to
so.
The longsword weapon class.
Now that you
Longswords are
mentioned God of War
balanced
as well,
weapons, embodying crisp
it's-
damage and simple cooldowns.
And
without
Yeah,
needing
it's
a
kinda-
lot
you know,
of
I'm coming,
elaborate combo
I'm
setups.
sort of deep into Ghost of Tsushima,
Similar
which
to
has a
dual
very
blades,
deep combat
longswords
system,
have their own
several
4-hit
different
light
stances. It
attack
is
combo.
very strategic when you
Then
get
there's
into
the
encounters.
heavy attack finisher.
So
It
maybe
can be
I'm
used at
putting
the end
too
of
much
your
kind
light
of pressure
attack
on
combo.
this.
There are 3
That's what can happen
signature
though, isn't it?
moves
If
for
a
the
game
longsword
comes out and it
class.
really does something
There's
well,
Spectral
like
Flurry,
combat,
which cannot be
naturally
interrupted,
games you
deals
follow
high
up
damage
that
to
follow up after
multiple
that,
nearby
you know, you
targets.
kind of judge them
Then
against
there's
that.
Spiral technique, which eviscerates all enemies in a straight fixed path. Notice there's a white flash after a longsword swing called a timing attack. If you press the shield button exactly at the same time, you'll perform a devastating shield.
Look, they're
uppercut
kind of
to your
putting me to
longsword.
shame here, right? Like,
The shield
there's
is
clearly
a
this combat
core
clearly
part
is
of
very
Godfall.
deep, right? They're talking about it for this
It's
long. They're
available
explaining
to
all these
you
different
Yeah.
throughout
concepts.
the entire game. You can always block incoming attacks.
My
with
worry
your
then,
shield. If you press the shield button at the right time,
because that's the only
you can
thing I
also
would
parry
criticize
attacks.
against God of War is
You can perform a light
obviously you
attack
have different
after a
types of like
last-second
enemy
shield
archetypes.
block to
And it did feel it
counterattack
got a little bit
powerful
repetitive,
shield
just in terms of
strike.
like, oh, here's the same
Shield
death
is great,
animation,
not
here's the
just for
same,
defense,
you know.
but also offense.
So you've got to keep
You
that
can
fresh.
aim and throw your shield, which will hit multiple nearby targets. If
And
you tap the shield
this is
button just as
definitely
you
the
catch your
class
shield,
I'm playing.
you can perform a
Captain America?
powerful wave
Yeah.
attack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
You can double tap the shield button.
For
to
me, it's just,
petrify enemies.
Nightman, man.
And of
Petrifying
course,
slam.
You can perform an
Cool.
R3 ground finisher on
No,
enemies
yeah,
that
it's
would
it's
knock down
it's
That looks
pretty
sick.
deep.
That looks sick. So
Yeah, I like that.
maybe
That's
they
got
just
a
sold
lot
me on
better.
Godfall. Maybe they did it.
Yeah,
I think I'm just scared, right? Because we always get these games at launch of a new console, like Rise Son of Rome, that just miss the mark.
do you
And
remember
for some reason,
Genji? Was it the PS3 game that Genji? Oh, was it Way of the Blade or something with the giant enemy crab? That
No,
was.
I do not remember
not
that.
like
But
Godfall. Do you not remember giant enemy crab. Oh man, it's one of the best. It was one of the when the PS3 was announced. There was a game called Genji. I think it was Days of the Blade, Way of the Blade, something along those lines. and it got ridiculed because the guy who was showing it off basically said some of the levels were based on real historic events from Japanese history. And then literally the next scene he's like, so here we have this giant enemy crab. It's just like, oh yeah, because of all those huge giant crabs that roamed Japan. And then, yeah, it was one of the best game reveals ever. But that was a launch title for the PS3, which was pretty, but terrible.
Yeah. And you know what? This boss fight as well is totally selling me on this game. I'm eating all of my words, and I'm more than happy to, like, that looked awesome. That looked awesome.
On the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, Jeraham says the same thing. He says, combat looks good, plenty of variety on
Since our
Facebook.
initial reveal back in December.
You're not wrong.
Medusa-like enemy.
More
Like that.
surprises coming down the road, such as details on loot.
The
and
environments are
progression,
really
and
pretty
I'm
as well.
Eager to share more with you on our way to launch this holiday.
Because it's like
season.
sci-fi
Hope
and,
that you would join our
you know,
It's got a really
community
interesting
on
look.
Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Holiday 2020, you'd think that's going to be a launch title. Is that
hope
PS5
so, right?
exclusive or not?
I think
can't
so.
even remember.
I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is.
Counterplay games.
Is that
and
all we've
Gearbox
got?
Publishing.
That's
Is
a
that
wrap.
40 minutes?
No
Yeah,
one
it
That's
is,
a wrap.
I think.
Into the future of PlayStation.
That's a wrap.
See you next
Is there
time.
going to be a one last look?
No, don't think so. So that's really interesting, actually, because we didn't get any PlayStation Now in there.
Nope.
We did get some
just
PS5
noticed when-
announcements, but, you know, like we were saying, you kind of let people down almost with that by saying there are going to be no big announcements. You clearly don't feel like these are big announcements, which is a bit of a shame for Godfall.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I wonder how they feel about that.
they were tempering expectation because people want price, people want release date. I think it's a shame that we didn't get Andrew in the YouTube chat. Boo, that sucked. I think it's a shame they didn't end that by saying we'll be back at the end of the month to give you all the info you want. You know, just give us a little tease like that. I'm just going to let this play through because I paused it there. I just want to make sure there isn't. No, there's nothing. There's nothing at the end there.
No. A lot of L's as well in the, which I think is YouTube's chat way of saying, you know, this is a loss. Some people saying waste of time. I honestly didn't think it was that bad. Again, my expectations were, you know, reasonable.
I think so, right? I think, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think we, you know, like we were saying halfway through that, we saw some games in there. We have no idea what those games really are, to be honest with you.
And some good games. Some good looking PS4 games in there.
I'm excited to see where those games net out. I think I keep coming back to it. We needed to see something about PlayStation Now in there. We needed to see Sony acknowledge Game Pass is an incredible thing that we need to compete against. Because at the moment, they're just not. PS Now just isn't. Do you know anybody with PS Now? No. Do you know people with Game Pass? Of course you do, because it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And if they were
I know
able...
it's on my PS4. Sorry to cut you. I
No,
know it's on my PS4. I don't know if it's the same as yours, but there is literally like a home screen icon now, basically advertising a 7-day trial.
Yeah, that comes
they're
comes
obviously
and
trying
goes.
to push it, aren't they?
Yeah, that comes and goes every now and again. And it would have been nice, I think, as well in there to acknowledge Fall Guys, which has kind of blown the world away in the past couple of days and has been fantastic. And just to say thanks for that, but maybe this wasn't the right place for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I did notice on the disclaimer at the end of that state of play, in very small letters at the bottom, it said footage either captured on PS4, PS5, PC, and various other things. So they've definitely covered the bases there.
Yeah. It was interesting to see some of the games. Yeah, some of the games specifically at the end of them said captured on PS5. But as we know, like you were saying, Halo obviously turns out was captured on PC. A lot of people
which
not
for
happy
me
about
is
that.
never. For me that's never like a surprise. Games are developed on PC and then they're ported down or over to a console. They're very rarely, it's not a surprise.
Andrew in the YouTube chat says, "I'm now switching to Xbox." I think it's harsh to say that based on this conference. Like they said, there were going to be no big PS5 announcements. We knew what we were kind of getting with this. I think that's harsh to say. I wonder if was it the right time to do this?
Interesting.
If they'd come out and said, we're going to do a 20-minute state of play, and it's going to be mostly about Godfall, and they'd started with that Godfall stuff, and then just done a little hype montage of all those other games that we saw, and maybe a little bit of Crash at the end, 5 minutes of Crash at the end, I think people would be a lot more positive on that, because people are excited for Godfall. I'm more excited for Godfall now after that.
Yeah.
And it would have given people that
well
hook of... It would have done well, I think. It would have, people would have been excited about that little hook of Godfall. But obviously, as far as Andrew's concerned, Godfall is not enough.
It's turned Andrew off, and the question is though, has it put Andrew off to the point that he's going to buy an Xbox Series X or an Xbox One X or just a Xbox One S? You know, because you can just buy an Xbox One S now, and you can play Halo on that. Yes, it's not going to be all bells and whistles, but you will be able to play Halo Infinite. You will be able to take advantage of Game Pass.
And that's exactly what I've done. I've got a day one Xbox One X, and I've just gone ahead and purchased 12 months worth of Game Pass, and upgraded my gold so that I did it all for $1, and now I know I can play Halo on it. And I don't have a 4K TV. I'm probably going to get one before Halo comes out, to be honest with you, but I don't have a 4K TV, so I'm not that fussed. You know, the idea of being able to play it on my phone through xCloud eventually is insane to me. So
Microsoft's strategy has worked on you. They've
100%.
You know, they didn't need to sell you a potentially £500, $600 console. They've got you in another way.
Mm-hmm.
They've got you in another. So you say you got a day one Xbox One X. You got a Project Scorpio?
Oh no! Not like day one, year one.
I was gonna say, wow, if you got one of those,
no.
Be going for. I would be very jealous. But yeah, I'm very excited for. I know this is PlayStation. We'll get back to it in a second, but it just shows you, like, you know, the landscape of video games may be changing to the point where it's not enough to have, you know, these very, very, you know, high pressure now conferences where it's like, if these games disappoint this person, suddenly that purchase that they were going to make is a lot harder of a sell. While if you have cheaper entry points or you have existing systems that can let you access these games, particularly for a subscription fee of, like you've just said, £1 if you first signed up, that's very tempting.
It is very tempting. And I think it's, like we said, keep coming back to it, but shocking that PlayStation haven't acknowledged that it's a thing. Like, they're going down such different paths this generation. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all nets out in the end. Because, like, for me, I will probably buy a PlayStation 5 day one because I'm super excited for Spider-Man, because this generation, I think God of War and Horizon are some of the best games I've ever played. I'd put Ghost of Tsushima in there as well. Some of the best games I've ever played. I want to play the sequels to those games, so I'm going to buy a PS5. But before I buy my PS5, I'm signed into Game Pass. I'm looking forward to Halo. I know I'm getting, like, it's on the horizon. It's going to be there. You know, if they time it right, I could be playing Halo the day PlayStation 5 launches, right? I don't know.
And depending on when the multiplayer drops, you know, that's going to be free to play. So even if people don't have Game Pass to play the single player campaign, everyone's going to be on Halo. I mean, that to me, as a Halo fan, super exciting that, day one of a console launch, we have Halo. And not only that, but every single person, whether they played Halo 1, 2, 3, and they own an Xbox or a PC, or they've just got a phone with a clip-on attachment and they've subscribed to Project xCloud, going to play some Halo.
Yes.
It's good. I can't wait for that. But yeah, I do think the PlayStation 5 is in a huge, you know, it's got a massive advantage. The love Sony has, especially in the European territories, and as we know in Japan, it's kind of a no contest over there. I can see the PlayStation 5 selling more units at launch, depending on the price, etc., etc.
100%.
But I don't. I just think the landscape of that's completely changed. Console sales aren't what they used to be. They've never really been a profit maker. They're a loss leader. It's the software and the services that make the money. I can't wait for the fight to begin.
I think you're absolutely right. I think PlayStation definitely sells more during the launch period than Xbox. The question is, what are people playing on Christmas Day? Because that's like far enough away from launch.
True.
To people have settled down. What are you excited for? What are you playing on Christmas Day? And the answer might be for me, an Xbox One X, but I'm playing Halo, you know, or any number of games on Game Pass.
Yeah,
have PlayStation, default. Or will I be playing Godfall? I guess they're kind of my two choices at this point, or Bugsnax. Maybe Bugsnax.
Bugsnax, which is an FPS.
Exactly. Who knew? That is kind of a big deal, actually, that came out.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I think it shows us that these gameplay montages and little, even if it's in-game footage and you think we've got a good idea of a game, you don't really until you see, you know, proper gameplay where you're like, okay, it's an FPS. I thought it was some sort of like Viva Pinata style.
I'm a little bit upset that it didn't say PlayStation VR at the end. I thought the way those arms were kind of moving in front of camera seemed like a no-brainer. obviously, like we were saying though, everything that did have PlayStation VR in it, motion is an issue, right? In PlayStation VR, like moving around the space is an issue. And obviously Bugsnax was very much you're walking around this little town and meeting all these people and capturing these snacks. Very strange. But that's very much what that was. So maybe they wanted to steer clear of that. But when they came out and said this is going to be about PS4 games and PSVR, I feel like it wasn't really, right? Like the things that we're talking about are Godfall, the things we're talking about are Bugsnax. We're not talking about the PS4 games. We're not talking about the PSVR games, but
yeah. And in hindsight, the PSVR we saw Darth Vader Immortal. We saw Hitman 3. Sort of. We don't know if that's you can play the whole game that way, like Resident Evil 7, or if it's just certain areas, which wouldn't really make sense because you're not going to be popping on your headset and taking it off. What
they could do is certain missions, maybe, right? Like so. Yeah. The last Hitman game was episodic, right? So maybe it's some form of, this season of Hitman, in quotes, is going to be 10 episodes and 3 of them are going to be VR episodes. And
yeah, that could work. Yeah, like
maybe. I don't know. It'd be, like you say, it'd be interesting to see how that nets out. But it does get me more excited as a PSVR owner. It does get me more excited for Hitman, whereas I wasn't massively excited before. But probably something I'd pick up now. And I think there's, really... kind of strong PSVR community. The attachment rate on PSVR is huge, right? People who have PSVR buy PSVR games. So attaching something like Hitman to it, I think makes total sense. And it's kind of a shame that we didn't see more. Because obviously when they tweeted out this is going to be PS4 and PSVR focused, I was expecting more than 2 PSVR games, which is all I think we got there. So
yeah, no, in hindsight, I started the show saying the support's been good, it's been okay, but that was a bit, there wasn't enough there. I know not a lot of people own a PSVR. Maybe that's why they didn't want to show so many. But you're right, we didn't see. We saw less than a handful of PSVR games.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. So, Adam, before we close out, then, what was the highlight of the show for you?
Highlight of the show for me was not
Action Chess. Auto Chess. Got the name of it wrong.
Auto Chess, which I'm sure if I got into, it's probably one of those games
it's
which
Mario's.
I look at and laugh.
It's Mario's highlight.
Like, nah. Yeah, exactly. That Aeon Must Die or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Is it a fighting game? Is it a punch up?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I also like the look of that pixelated Japanesey one, which I can't, the name escapes me again. PS4.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, some cool little games in there, which I didn't think we'd see.
I think for me, it was Godfall, 100%. Didn't expect to see it here. Was very weary of the game going into it, and this definitely sold me on the game. I think it's deeper than I thought it was going to be. It's giving me less Rise Son of Rome vibes than it was at the start, although it's still in the back of my mind that it could end up being something like that. I'm sure, look, it will use the haptic triggers to their maximum, right? It will, every bell and whistle that the DualShock 5 has, Godfall's going to use it. It's that sort of game. But we'll see. And I'm excited to play it now, and I was more weary of it beforehand. So there we go.
The key thing is, we're still waiting on a price. We're still waiting on a release date.
And we don't know when they're coming either.
We're what? You'd predict a month, 2 months away, usually from a lot. This is crazy. It's going to go down to the wire.
It is indeed, and I can't wait to see it. And if you can't wait to see it either, make sure you follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube so that you catch our next live stream when we probably live react to the price and release date of these consoles, which will be very exciting indeed. If you were in the YouTube chat, if you were in the Facebook chat, thank you so much for hanging out. Andrew, Mario, AK, Garganite, you were all there. We were chatting away. It was great. It was nice to hang out with you guys tonight. And all that's left to say is remember to head over to TechRadar.com for all the latest tech news and reviews. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye-bye.